What's up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So I guess this video is a quick preview and prediction for a fight that goes down in April. To be precise, it goes down on April the 26th at Tottenham Hotspur's football stadium. So 70,000 people going to be there. It's going to be a big event here in the UK, and listen, when this fight was first announced a couple of years ago, and obviously it fell through due to Conor Benn failing a drug test, when the fight was first announced, I wasn't really feeling it like that. Just felt like a cash grab. It felt like Chris Eubank Jr. was being dehydrated, was being drained, was being compromised. And overall, it just seemed like a cynical cash grab, etc. And It's weird because while I could still have those same complaints about this fight, and I do have those same concerns still, mainly in regards to Eubank Jr. being drained or compromised, while I still have concerns about this fight, I'm more receptive to it this time around. I've waited for Chris Eubank Jr. to have a real assault at world level at middleweight for a long time. Hasn't happened. He's picked and chosen fights, never fought Golovkin, hasn't been interested in fighting Janibek. He's a pro boxer, but like a low-key influencer boxer, like a celebrity boxer almost. And I think the same can be said for Conor Benn. This guy could have fought contenders at welterweight, dangerous contenders, but it's not happened, hasn't been close to happening. And again, much like Chris Eubank Jr., he's a bit of a celebrity boxer. He's a name, a big name, but based on nothing aside from being the son of Nigel Benn. And the same goes for Eubank Jr., though Eubank Jr. has still obviously fought better competition than Conor Benn. He has fought a George Groves, he has fought a Billy Joe Saunders, a Liam Smith, even a washed James DeGale is better comparatively than anything that Conor Benn's done. But with that being said, listen, it is a cash grab, there's no doubt about it. However, I'm really going to enjoy it for what it is. There's been some interesting shenanigans in the build-up, in the press conferences. I'm sure there's going to be interesting shenanigans on fight week. And that's really what this fight is, man. It's just a bit of fun. I think I probably have a reputation of being a negative guy when it comes to boxing sometimes. But listen, I'm going to try and enjoy this for what it is, basically. I'm hoping it's a fun fight. I'm hoping there's drama. And the main thing for me is I hope it's a real fight, or as real as it can be, because, there are circumstances surrounding this fight that, like I said, I am still concerned about. Mainly the dehydration clause placed on Chris Eubank Jr. But unlike first time around when the fight was supposed to happen, it's actually at the full middleweight limit, which is something, I guess, right? But the fight itself, I'm going to go into it with the notion that if Eubank Jr. is healthy, he should win this fight. He has the physical advantages in this bout. He's taller, he's longer, he's more used to fighting at that weight class. He's fought as high as 168. All around, he's a bigger guy, a longer guy. Conor Benn's like 5'8", Eubank Jr. is 5'11". Eubank Jr.'s got a 72.5-inch reach. Not sure what Conor Benn's reach is, but it's clear Eubank Jr. has longer arms. And I think Eubank Jr. has to capitalise on that to stand the best chance of winning this fight. Don't get involved with Conor Benn early on. Conor Benn is, I would say he would be classed as an aggressive fighter. Likes to tuck up, likes to jab his way in, throw combinations. He's quite explosive for the level he's fought at. Does that power carry to world level? I'm not convinced. The last two fights Conor Benn's had in America against nondescript opposition, he's went the distance. So, does Conor Benn have the power to trouble Eubank? If Eubank's healthy, probably not. But due to the rehydration clause, due to the fact that Eubank Jr. is getting up there in age, I don't think Eubank Jr. should take risks early on. I don't think he should engage Conor Benn in a tear-up or a shootout. I think Eubank Jr. needs to make the most of his movement, foot movement, and pop that jab, pop that jab, pop that jab. Make Conor Benn be the aggressor, but don't oblige him in trading. Make him come forwards, make him try to cut the ring off, and try to walk Conor Benn into quick counters. Eubank Jr, I think, is slowing down as a fighter. I saw signs of that in the Kamil Cesmaretta fight, but it's clear that he's still got speed. He still has good athleticism. He still has decent reactions, not quite what they were. But, Eubank Jr can throw out a quick lead uppercut where he'll walk you into it. He can throw a quick overhand right. He can still throw pretty good quick single punches, like single counters or single power punches. The issue with Eubank Jr, I think, is I don't think he's got the motor that he once had to where he can throw 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 punch combinations like he was known for doing. I don't think he can do that quite as effectively these days, especially not with the speed that he used to throw those combinations with. So he is slowing down, but he still has all the physical advantages here, and I think he should try to utilise that right from round one, because I think if Conor actually is able to hurt Eubank, I think it might be early. Similar to the Liam Smith scenario where he was caught cold early on. But if Eubank Jr can settle himself into this fight, get that blood pumping, get that sweat on, and get into the fight, I do think Conor might struggle to hurt Eubank. So I think Eubank needs to take it easy early on, primarily behind that jab, primarily behind long straight punches, a lot of movement, try to frustrate Conor Benn. Conor Benn, I suspect, is a bit of a mental midget. When a fight's not going his way, I fully expect Conor Benn to get desperate, and I think he may get desperate quicker than your average sort of seasoned fighter. I think he could get desperate quite early on. If Eubank Jr has a good start to where he's won the first 4 or 5 rounds, I think we'll see Conor Benn take risks from very early. And that's when the counter-punching from Eubank Jr could become a lot more viable. Because I do believe he's going to take a lot of risks, Conor, should he start badly. He just strikes me as that sort of character, a bit of a hothead, emotionally... I don't want to say emotionally unstable, but he can be got to in that sense, I think. He can be got to, And I think Eubank Jr, he's done a good job of exposing that outside the ring, but he needs to do it inside the ring, because I think the reaction is going to be the same from Conor Benn. I don't think it's going to be a controlled reaction at all. And yeah, for me, for Eubank Jr, for me it's as simple as, utilising what you have on Conor Benn. Eubank Jr knows he can go the rounds, he knows he can fight 12 rounds. He's got the experience on Conor Benn. He's got the height and the reach. I think he's got the style as well to beat Conor Benn. I'm talking about the style where Eubank has tried to move a lot more recently. And I know he's not looked convincing doing that in certain fights, but I do believe it will be more beneficial against Conor Benn. I'm not convinced that Conor's a great pressure fighter. Yeah, he's explosive. He can fight in bursts. He can put his shots together. He does throw good short punch combinations. But he kind of approaches in straight lines. It's not like he's moving his head off the line or drawing the lead or taking a step to the side, setting traps on the front foot. He's quite rudimentary in his approach. And I feel he's the type of fighter, if you've got any type of boxing ability on the back foot, you should be able to outbox this guy, especially when you have the height and the reach, and you've got the experience. And dare I say, is Eubank Jr faster than Conor Benn? I'm not sure about the speed, but it's comparable, I think. I certainly think prime Eubank Jr was faster than Conor Benn. I'm not so sure about now, but it's comparable. But yeah, for me, this is on Chris Eubank Jr to make it a simple fight. I think this is going to be one of those occasions to where this fight will be as easy as Chris Eubank Jr makes it for himself. But given the circumstances, given the build-up, given the event, given the magnitude of the event, you could see him get in his feelings and open up when he shouldn't. As for Conor Benn, what does he do in this fight? Well, he has to pressure, as we know. Has to work that body, has to try to test those legs of Eubank Jr. I think the bodywork of Conor Benn in this fight will be his most important asset. I believe if Conor Benn can't maintain a successful body attack in this fight, there's no way he wins. Because, yeah, Liam Smith knocked out Eubank Jr., but Conor Benn's not fought at the level of Liam Smith. Let's not get it twisted. Liam Smith's a bigger dude. He's fought at 154, 160. This is Conor Benn going up to 160. And every fight north of 147, Conor Benn's gone the distance. You know, his last two fights have been at 153 and 150 respectively. Both fights went the distance, never looked close to stopping his opponents. You know, so I'm not convinced that Conor has like the one-punch power to knock out Eubank Jr. or stop him. Maybe he can hurt him at this stage, but I'm not convinced he can stop him. In order to potentially do that, he needs to work that body. He needs to work that body. He needs to quicken his feet up to get to the inside. He needs to offer better head movement, because one thing about Conor Benn, I do feel he is a little too on the centre line when he comes forwards. You know, kind of leans over, where his head will be over his lead knee when he's coming forwards. And that's prime for an uppercut, a shot that Eubank can throw very well. So you're going to need to see better head movement in this fight from Conor Benn. Side-to-side movement as he applies pressure, jabbing his way in, keeping his guard up, etc. Needs to be defensively switched on, but also, again, taking the head off the line. That is going to be key for him, I think. And he needs to quicken those feet up, like I said. Needs to be jabbing on the front foot. Needs to be able to punch on the front foot, etc. But I do think the height and reach of Eubank's going to be a big problem for him. Again, I think Conor Benn's chances really lie, number one, with bodywork, but also number two, it's how much Chris Eubank Jr. has left. If he's washed, then yeah, obviously Conor Benn can win this fight. If he's compromised, yeah, Conor Benn can win this fight. But if he's not sufficiently washed, if he's not sufficiently compromised, then I expect Eubank to win. And possibly even by late stoppage here. Due to accumulation, you know, just walking Conor into clean shots. And again, I also think it's very, very possible that Conor Benn could come apart mentally in this fight. I think that's a very, very big possibility. I really do. But listen, man, the fight is what it is. This is not like a serious prediction. I'm not like hanging my hat out here. It's just my basic thoughts in regards to this fight. I haven't thought about this fight long and hard. I'm just going to enjoy it for what it is, you know? It's one of them ones, man. I'm not going to take it too seriously, is how I would put it. I just want to see a real fight, you know? As real as it can be, at least. But anyway, if I'm going to make a pick, I would say Eubank Jr. on points or a very late stoppage. That's what I would say. Eubank Jr. on points or a very late stoppage. Anyway, share your thoughts below. Been your guy, Del Boy. Peace.